The third core theme of feminism is that of sex and gender, or sex versus gender. The most common anti-feminist argument, most often associated with conservatives, is that gender divisions are natural. In short, biology is destiny. The list of characteristics that we normally associate with women and with men are somehow natural. They are something we are born with. Feminists have challenged this, drawing a sharp distinction between sex and gender. Sex, according to feminists, refers to biological differences between men and women, and these are natural and unalterable. But your sex should not have any social, political, or economic significance in your life. It should not determine your position or role in society. Gender, however, according to feminists, is a cultural term, referring to the different roles ascribed to men and women by society. These are not natural, but imposed, either politically, socially, or culturally. For feminists, these gender roles are constructed. In the phrase particularly of Simone de Beauvoir, a radical feminist, where she says one is not born, but rather becomes a woman, which is also known by the term women are made, not born. And Shirley Chisholm, the emotional, sexual, and psychological stereotyping of females beings begins when the doctor says it's a girl. The importance of this distinction between sex and gender for feminists is that if gender roles and identities are socially constructed, then the implication is that they can be reconstructed or deconstructed. Most feminists, to underpin this argument, argue that the sex differences between men and women are relatively minor. Both men and women possess genetic inheritance from mothers and fathers. As such, human nature is said to be androgynous. Therefore, men and women should not be ascribed certain roles. They should be able to compete equally for various roles. Men and women should not be judged on their sex, but as individuals or persons. The goal of many feminists is therefore to achieve a genderless personhood, a concept of gender divorced from biological sex. However, not all feminists agree with this argument. A small substrand of radical feminists, known as difference feminists, would suggest that there are indeed profound essential differences between men and women. These differences can be biological, cultural, and psychological. From this essentialist perspective, biological factors are crucial in determining the psychological and behavioral traits of men and women. As such, they agree with the conservative argument that biology is destiny, but they draw very different conclusions from this as to what women's roles should be. Postmodern feminists have also questioned whether the term sex is as clear-cut a biological distinction as is usually assumed, and whether anyone can draw any general conclusions about what a man or woman should be. In conclusion, the vast majority of feminists would argue that there is a distinction between sex and gender. Sex is determined biologically and it is unalterable, but a person's sex should not determine their political, social, or cultural position within society. Gender roles, however, are artificial, they are socially or culturally constructed, and therefore the implication being that they can be deconstructed, allowing for greater female equality in society.